wanted was a black grand national. Fuck being rational, give them what they asked for. It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their ass. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I ain't chasing cheap ass. Yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music, nigga. What? They like what he own. This the alpha and omega, bitch. Welcome home. This is not a song. This is a revelation. How to get a nigga gone. You need you a man, baby. I don't understand, baby. Pay a bill and make you feel protected like I can, baby. Teach you something if you need correction. That's the plan, baby. Don't put your life in these weird niggas' hands, baby. Whoa! It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their ass. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take the G pad. Yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music, nigga. What? Hey, turn this TV off. Ain't with my type activities, then don't you get involved. Hey, what? How many shit I see? Send them off. Take a risk or take a trip. You know I'm tripping for my dog. Who you with? Couple sergeants and lieutenants for the get back. This revolution been televised. I fell through with the knickknacks. Hey, young nigga, get your chili up. Yeah, I meant that. Hey, black out. If they act out, yeah, I did that. Hey, what's up, though? I hate a bitch that's hating on a bitch and they both hoes. I hate a nigga hating on them niggas and they both broke. If you ain't coming for no chili, what you come for? Nigga feel like he entitled cause he knew me since a kid. Bitch, I cut my granny off and she don't see it how I see it. Got a big mouth, but he lack big ideas. Send him to the moon, that's just how I feel. Yeah, then it's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. Hey. Hey. Niggas acting bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off.
Day, nothing changes. All I want is a moment to think clearly, but thoughts come unrelenting, consuming every waking moment. My mind blinds me and I can't escape. I shout for help, but no one hears me. One day I feel I'll just disappear. Lost in this chaos, I'm searching for.
All right, welcome everyone to night number 2 of WrestleMania 41's recap with the Dirt Sheet Radio Squad. I am Nick LaRocco. Neek Mania is running wild, brother. And joining me from last night, you know him as the man, the myth, the legend. He truly is the John Escudero of John Escuderos. Mr. John, please introduce yourself.
John Escudero Jr., Dyma, episode 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wow, John, chat, listen, this truly was a main event for WrestleMania. I don't know necessarily if it's going to compare to last night's for night 1, but you know what? I think we should just get right into it and talk all about it. John, all in all, what were your thoughts on the new WWE champion as John Felix Anthony Cena has officially defeated Cody Rhodes to become a 17-time world champion, defeating the record also of Nature Boy Ric Flair, for world championship reigns, at least the ones recognized by WWE.
John Felix Escudero is just happy we got 17. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that match. Travis Scott's aura forming for that last 10 minutes. He got me crying for the last stretch of the match, but overall it was a little mid. I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, honestly, when it comes to WrestleMania matches, you know, you're thinking John Cena is, in his own right, Mr. WrestleMania. Look at how many fantastic matches he's had, starting with WrestleMania 20. You know, opening up with Big Show was not a bad match at all, and it just set the stage for what was going to be going on for the next decade plus. But this one, man, I don't know. I don't know if neither guy was really too into it, or if the chemistry wasn't there, or if they just didn't plan out what they wanted to do specifically, but after we had some of the aura forming, it just didn't really go off too well.
I guess the thing was, it's a John Cena WrestleMania match. John Cena's the last ever WrestleMania. We going to having the highest expectations, so I think
Right.
it didn't really deliver because it's John Cena, the WrestleMania main event against one of the biggest baby faces in wrestling today.
No, exactly. And I think we were both, and so many people in the chat and so many people on the online Twitter Xverse and throughout social media were absolutely disappointed with everything in Cena's final WrestleMania match. But I also want to give a shout out to some of the people in our chat. Hello, Michael. Yes, we're going to be talking all about Mr. Dirty Dom and his WrestleMania victory. We're also going to say hello to Al Brand. This has Dwayne's signature all over it. We are starting to see a major difference between a Dwayne-led storyline and a Triple H storyline. The storytelling sucks.
He's all the way in Hawaii. I don't think he had anything to do with this main event.
No, he did not at all. And quite frankly, I'm just thinking, like you said, John, Travis Scott going out of his way to try and surpass Undertaker's entry time, because if we're not going to have the dead man on the show, hey, maybe have someone else have a slow entry during a main event.
Shades of Roman Reigns' 10-minute entrance to WrestleMania.
We really need to get like a comparison too between last night Roman Reigns entrance and tonight's Travis Scott entrance. I feel like Roman sped it up a little bit.
Roman had places to be last night.
Oh, absolutely. Specifically, he's got to go to the hospital after that heartbreak that he had received from Paul Heyman. Hey there, Robert. They still had 20 minutes left to do more.
They gave him a lot of time. They started at really early. 7 o'clock main event.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say for giving them extra time. I was pretty ready for it to end myself. And quite frankly, I wonder if we could have gave some more time to some of the awesome matches earlier in the night. But let's see. This match, the main event, went 21 minutes and 40 seconds, at least according to the Wikipedia. And all in all, yeah, I wasn't the greatest fan. Chat, let us know how you felt about that main event. I think it started off fine. John Cena's entrance in particular was nothing more than just going basically Hook style, just John Cena. That's all. No hype, no Titantron, no crazy entrance compared to Cody Rhodes. Just the name.
I don't understand what Cody Rhodes had going on with those motorcycles, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of worried that there's so much that could go wrong there. And I get, that's like a Vegas staple, but like, imagine if someone wiped out. That would have been awful. And
speaking of wipeouts, you seen Stone Cold.
I was just gonna say, I feel like this was the perfect segue into getting into that. All that to say, please do not drink and drive. Also, I'm going to give everyone a heads up. It is storming pretty hard here, so if I randomly blink out, it will be due to that, but I will try my hardest to jump back in. But yeah, Stone Cold opened up too many Steve Weisers and got a little too silly in there, and Nick Khan had to walk up to do some damage control. But you know what? Who else but Stone Cold, am I right? And
that's not the first time he wiped out either. You see him get it out of the ring, he fell in those stairs.
He downed a few too many of those Steve Weisers. Good for him. Honestly, too, he is without a doubt one of the most over people from this whole WrestleMania. And on top of that, he was just pure entertainment. And I found him to be more entertaining than a majority of night one.
Yeah.
But man, all right. Well, at that point, did you have any other last things to throw out there for that main event, John?
I like Cody Rhodes' Iron Man mask.
Yeah, that was really cool. And the entrance, all in all, we were kind of memeing on it, but honestly, like it was
a good entrance.
It was
awesome. a WrestleMania entrance.
Exactly. It kind of reminds me, I'm thinking about like WrestleMania 23 when MVP had just such a grand entrance. He had cheerleaders, he had inflatables, he had all the steam everywhere. And then his opponent, Chris Benoit, comes out. And Chris had like nothing to his entrance, just walked out pure business. And I kind of was getting a similar vibe there with this, because John Cena was, again, just blank everything, just darkness, and his theme song that we all know. And I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad he didn't change it at all. It's perfect for a heel Cena.
He definitely would have gotten Def Rebel if he changed it.
Oh, Def Rebel. But that would have also been an ultimate heel move, though.
Oh,
It needs to be like the most Def Rebel theme song that they could come up with.
a whole lot of ad libs throughout the whole song.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think John Cena would be able to pull that off in its own way. But all right, man. 21 minutes, 40 seconds, like we said. John Cena defeated Cody Rhodes by pinfall, securing his 17th World Championship from the Showcase of the Immortals. John, I wanted to ask you, are there any past Cena matches at WrestleMania that really stand out to you that you think are miles better than this one?
There's a lot of them. Because
Right.
John Cena has a whole lot of very long list of great matches at WrestleMania. But if I had to choose one,
If you need a little
I'm
time, I
blank.
could throw one
No,
out there myself.
I'm blanking. You gotta throw one out. I'm blanking right now.
Honestly, I'm thinking of a couple that come to mind that really stand out to me for Cena. You know, of course, there's WrestleMania 21 when he took on JBL and got that WWE Championship, and that just sets the tone for what John Cena would be doing for the next 10 and a half years almost.
Yeah.
Let's see. Also, like WrestleMania 23 wasn't bad either because we had John Cena and Shawn Michaels in a banger match. Again, two of the top names in all of WrestleMania history going at it. That was awesome. Plus, another bit of trivia. Remember, they were also the World Tag Team Champions at that point,
They
so it was
were.
technically champion versus champion as well, which was very interesting. And that was, I believe, the second time that's happened in WrestleMania after Guerrero and Mysterio at 21.
Speaking of tag champions, I'm thinking John Cena and Shawn Michaels. Was that WrestleMania or was that another pay-per-view?
For Cena and Michaels,
Yeah,
that was 23.
that was 23.
Yeah, because then the next night was the Raw After Mania, where at WrestleMania 23, is a little bit of trivia, they had a 40-man lumberjack match that they were originally planning to do just a 40-man battle royal, but then there was the realistic idea that, you know what, we're probably going to break the ring if we have 40 guys, because they also had some big, meaty men in there. You had Viscera on the roster at the time, you had Snitsky, plus, again, just 40 guys at about roughly 200 to 300 pounds of muscle mass in that era.
Yeah.
Ooh, that ring was probably not going to last very
It was
long.
not holding.
Exactly. So it might have been the right call. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get that because I'm just a fan of Battle Royals myself. That being said, we did get 2 tag team Battle Royals on the Raw after WrestleMania in 2007. And that's when we had a betrayal moment where Shawn Michaels betrayed John Cena and they dropped the tag team titles. But that also led us into Backlash for the Fatal 4-Way between Shawn, Cena, Edge, and Randy Orton, which was awesome.
Yeah. See, talking about John Cena and WrestleMania, you can't not talk about John Cena and The Rock. Both.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, especially too, that first one, once in a lifetime. That
Once
had
in a life-
so much around it. That was so cool.
Once in a lifetime, then they did it the next year.
Twice in a lifetime, baby. But honestly, though, when I think back to the once in a lifetime match in 2012, that was so wild because at that point in time, WWE had really stopped doing a lot of long-term storytelling, and they have been hinting and looking towards doing that Rocket Cena match even since the WrestleMania before at 27, which was one of the only few good things about that WrestleMania. But yeah, man, I think that one had a lot going for it, and I think too, even to this day, that might still hold a lot of pay-per-view records itself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of big Cena ones. I was thinking too, Firefly Funhouse a few years ago during COVID Mania.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, probably one of the coolest things that they were able to do, taking advantage of those cinematic matches.
Yeah, I had fun with that one because going through John Cena's timeline of his career and
Right.
the climaxes at the end.
Yeah, no, that was fun. Robert says, would have been cool if Cena came out with a Hollywood Rock type entrance. I can see it. Oh, hey, guess what, John? We have a guest joining us here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hollywood Greg.
Yo.
All right. Greg, we went over a little bit of that main event. What did you think, man?
Gutter trash. That main event was awful. Cena's old man pace made it a slog to watch. Although the pace was expected. I'm not... It wasn't going to be 2007's John Cena out there, obviously, but...
Right.
You know, with him being as a heel and in control of most of the match, and it's just... He's working his... his more aggressive beatdown sort of style, but for the most part, it's just... Cody was almost doing the Hogan thing, or like Cody's gonna lay around until the comeback.
Right.
So it was tough to watch. Also, John, good to see you. Haven't seen you since Grand Slam.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen Greg. Last time I talked to Greg, we were playing the Avengers in COVID.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And I saw you after that at Grand Slam, I think. Yeah.
That was after.
Yes.
It was. That was 2021.
We're having a reunion here at Dirt Sheet Radio.
Yes.
Absolutely great.
I also remember. I remember trying to knock down my coffee because I had 2 hours of sleep, so I had a coffee and a hamburger, and I'm like, John, you want a cookie? I don't even know how old he fucking was at the time.
Hey, is the cookie offer still there, though? I am very hungry. But as someone that's on 2 hours of sleep, I want to just get back onto this. Greg, we're going over...
That's long, brother. That's right.
Exactly. Keep going. Kale asks, am I missing something? Why is Travis Scott at these events?
I don't know. Rappers. maybe Cena got the hood cred all of a sudden.
Yeah, you got the instant cred, you got the recognizability, you've got all the social media clout that you're going to be getting from having Travis Scott and The Rock and John Cena all together. That got people talking. They should have followed up on it. They didn't. They should have. But again, they didn't.
I feel like Travis Scott represented their idea of following up on it.
Oh, man.
One last thing about that main event, John Cena covered up his bald spot.
That's true. I wasn't even thinking about that. I didn't even notice that. But yes, we have John Felix Anthony Cena as a 17-time champion now. Greg, what were your thoughts, now that you joined us on here, of Travis Scott's long Undertaker-esque entrance?
I had a good laugh about it. I was just like, does he know what his cue is? I'm not sure. And like, they keep shooting back to John Cena laughing. I'm just like, are we gonna get to this?
Robert asks, do they sell out this event? I was looking at StubHub and it was saying that they still had tickets available.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's that thing where, we'll increase the count by having everyone that's backstage and whatnot, and on top of that, we'll say, the combined amount is totally 120-something thousand people because nobody bought the seats 2 nights in a row.
Though considering Steve Austin's activities tonight, I'm not even sure if we can trust him with the count.
What do you mean? He's very responsible. Please, everyone, do not drink and drive.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
John's having a lot of fun.
Jesus Christ, John.
John, your dad just completely took over the entire screen.
He's lost it.
He's gone wild. Oh, man. This... Greg, all in all, we talked about this a little bit earlier, too. I wanted to get your take on this. What were your thoughts on Night 2 of WrestleMania in comparison to Night 1 overall?
Vastly superior.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say top to bottom, God, the closest thing to being a bad match is probably that Randy Orton match, and it's because I hated every second of it. Because I can't stand Joe Hendry. But other than that, it was mostly a pretty good card. Like, the performances were better almost across the board.
Yeah. I think in all kinds of different ways and different capacities, every match delivered.
Yeah. The only downside was that Bianca, Rhea, and Neo set the bar too high.
Absolutely. We have Slow Joe here saying, crap. That was the worst WrestleMania main event in WWE history. I followed wrestling for 60 years, and this was the worst. Travis Scott doesn't belong in WWE. Triple H failed on this one.
The worst?
In WWE history?
Worse than Cena Miz?
I was going to say, WrestleMania is 1 in 27 with like a word.
Worse than Undertaker and Roman?
I definitely agree that this main event in particular, for all it had with it, you've got all of the celebrity power, you've had all of the just pomp and circumstance from Cody's entrance, you had everything with John Cena's finale.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't deliver how it should have, especially following all of the hype stemming from the big John Cena heel turn. Again, they never followed up on it. And we go into a situation where history-making moment, John Cena turning heel and going into a crappy main event, and it's a guy who didn't tan. Sound familiar? I'm thinking Hostile Takeover leading us to Starrcade 97 and Sting.
Oh no. Yeah, it's weird because at that point I started going like, man, I knew we waited a long time to do this with John Cena from a character level, but like, dang, I didn't know that he just couldn't do main event style anymore.
Honestly, Junior says night 1 was way better. I'm gonna assume you mean main event on there. I'm not gonna go with the whole night, but main event wise, I would agree.
Main event wise, absolutely. John Cena, Punk, Roman, Rollins blows that out the water. Not even close. No contest.
Absolutely. Max says Cena just took Cody's side plates off the belt, tossed them on the floor of the press conference. Cena's side plates are the last time is now, and a big 17 on the other side.
Well played. Good move.
Henry says, I wish Austin came back out in the main event to run over Travis Scott.
Austin has enough criminal offenses to deal with tonight.
Live on camera in front of 60,000 witnesses. And how many millions of other people watching this? Oh, Stone Cold.
This is also the second time in 2 nights that somebody has suggested vehicular assault have taken place on the pay-per-view.
Oh man, there is so much crazy stuff, but that's the WWE way. Am I right? It's WrestleMania season.
Yes. How many vehicles were driven up around the WrestleMania set? We had 2 cars, some motorbikes.
See, I think this is the situation where they should have let LA Knight drive himself and then take the driver for that car and have him drive Stone Cold out. Oh, man. Junior saying, if Cena wins, we won't riot. Max saying, Stone Cold driving drunk and bald. Woo! Yeah, that's an offense right there.
Jeez.
Kale Morrow saying, Cena as a heel doesn't work for me. Too phony.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? All in all, I think the heel turn hasn't really been all that great.
Some would say it's the most honest Cena's been.
He's been very honest. That is true. I have to say, his promo work, chef's kiss, awesome. The match and the follow-up and a lot of the other essentials and necessities, I haven't really been the biggest fan of. I don't know how you guys feel. John?
I think he's been here half the time, so he hasn't really had any type of chance to really show us what he can do. And that after he won the title right now, he has advertised for a lot of shows, so I think now it's going to start picking up the pace.
Right. Absolutely. Greg?
I'll say this for the main event. I was surprised that Travis Scott took a slightly competent bump.
That's true.
The crossovers might be kind of complicated if you don't know your body very well.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough, especially at that part where he's trying to roll. Travis is going pure dead weight. You're gonna have to work for it, Cody. Oh man, this was it was more fun to meme on it than it was to actually enjoy and endure that ending. This was probably one of the only matches tonight, I have to say, that I couldn't wait for it to end. Whereas a lot of the other ones, I was just like, wow, this is great. Let's see on here. Henry says the entrances were awesome. Matches were okay. Match of the night was the women's triple threat. Guys, if you're ready, I wouldn't mind going and talking about that match.
Set the bar too high. Let's go for it.
All right, let's go. We had opening up the show. We followed night one's triple threat with night two's women's triple threat for the Women's World Championship title. The champion Io Sky successfully retained against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Like you were saying, Greg, this was definitely the match, and I think this might even be my match of the night. I had so much fun with this, and this was the right way to open a show. Sorry, Jey Uso and Gunther.
My only problem is the absolute utter disrespect to Io Sky coming out first.
Oh, yeah. Champion coming out first? Come on.
We're gonna disrespect. Why are they doing Bianca Belair?
You know, that was curious.
Right. Also,
That was
shout
curious.
out to the double dutching going on for Bianca's entrance. I was just mesmerized by that because I'm just like, I would fall right on my face on the stage.
Double dutching with the push-ups. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, like especially the person when they were like zooming in on the ramp and there was the person on was the stage left that she was going to town. Like whoever that was, kudos. I gotta give you a round of applause.
Yeah, for sure. That was a great entrance on her part. Bianca Belair, they be giving some heat too.
No, absolutely. Kayla Green, that was best match tonight. 100%. Yeah, I thought this was really fun, and it was the first of what would have been a trend. And we had multi-person matches tonight as someone's going for a pinfall, and then someone flies out of the air to steal said pinfall.
Yes.
So I don't know if there's anything there. Usually WWE is much better about protecting different finishes and whatnot from the same night. That being said, again, couldn't take away from this match at all. I really enjoyed it. You had Io Sky doing what she does best, flying through the air. Bianca Belair, again, is just the best of both worlds because you look at Rhea Ripley's powerhouse style. And Greg, like we were saying on the Dirt Sheet Radio podcast, award-winning. Make sure you go and check that out after this show is done. I was thinking about what we were saying, where Bianca and Rhea are so distracted with both other matters as well as each other. I don't really think that showed up as much when it came to the outside stuff, but you could definitely tell there was a huge focus from both of them towards each other. And quite frankly, the way they did it camera work wise, I would also sometimes forget that Io Sky was in there in different spots.
That was a criticism I've had with the production work for years when it comes to like those spots or triple threat matches where they'll have someone go for the pin and they'll give away the secret happening in the corner by shooting wide.
Mm-hmm.
And this time they didn't do that. Like both Io and Dominik just kind of fly into the screen. I'm just like, that's how you shoot that.
Yeah, that was masterfully done. John, your thoughts?
That was a lot of fun. It was a great match too. It really set the tone for the first half of the night. They went out there, they did that thing. And that finish, the one thing reminded me of was 2008 Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the...
Yeah.
Who was in that? Triple H and... Batista?
Were you talking about Triple H? Was it Edge at Armageddon?
Triple H, Edge, and Jeff. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
That's what it was, Edge, yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was a great match. And yeah, like you were saying, John, that absolutely was shades of that, which... That I think also kind of added to people's like subconscious too, if you think about it, of like maybe Jeff should have been the one to come out later and answer an open challenge.
Jesus. Oh man. Yeah, they did fantastic. I'm curious where they're gonna go from here. I feel like there's a maybe I'm biased because I want to go to the show. I think there might be a Bianca via SummerSlam match on the horizon.
Yeah, it's one of those things too where I'm like, oh, that's kind of down the ways, but I always forget that SummerSlam's only 4 months after WrestleMania.
Yeah, and we can kill some time. We can kill some time with other stuff till then.
Absolutely, and hopefully this means that we can continue to have a fantastic reign for Io Sky because she is just fantastic, and I refuse to just allow them to not book her with so many other things going on.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, do we have any other last things to throw out there with this match before we go to a Sin City street fight?
The position that Rhea in to take that moonsault was brutal.
It is truly her brutality.
Shut up.
Yeah, it was right there. Come on, I had to. But hey, it is time for pretty much a year in the making, if not a little more than that, a Sin City street fight. Drew McIntyre defeated Damian Priest in about 13 minutes, almost 14. And I really appreciated Doomslayer Drew. I thought that was so cool. That was a great way to promote a video game. I'm putting that right up there next to Will Ospreay's Assassin's Creed entrance as just peak crossover promo.
But not Clash of Clans from last night?
No. Not at all. I don't even want to think about last night anymore, apart from the main event. Oh, man. But...
Nick basically just saying last night's main event should have just opened the show.
You know, I wouldn't hate that. I just wouldn't want to ever risk losing the greatness that we did have with the women's triple threat there. Kale saying, poor Priest, may as well just go to AEW now. He's done as a big player.
I don't agree with that at all.
I disagree, too. I mean, he still looked and acted very strong. I really liked all of the nods to Scott Hall in there. I'm just a huge Scott Hall fan, as was Mama Luraco. Shout out to her. She also enjoyed that. She's a big fan of both these guys. And I thought this was fun for what it was as a street fight. Tables galore. They had a lot of those set up and then went right through them all. I almost thought they were going to go through regular tables and the announce table. It was that close together and that brutal. But, John,
also,
what did you think? Oh, sorry, Greg.
I was just gonna say, also, like, how could it feels weird to say that, like, you know, like he's done as a big deal when he got arguably the coolest entrance of the night.
That is... Oh, yes, because he came out with Slayer. We had the Doom Slayer and we had Slayer.
Yeah. Actual Slayer.
Real, legitimate Slayer playing out Damian Priest. That was cool. John, what were your thoughts on this match?
On the topic of entrances, I never realized Damian Priest's theme song had lyrics until tonight. I thought it was just all rise the whole song. But I'm not the biggest Damian.
Play on 2K, brother.
Just keep going, keep going.
I'm not the biggest Damian Priest fan, so I didn't have high expectations going into this match, but they definitely delivered from what I expected them to do. They did a good job out there. Doomslayer entrance, the Tweet mid match coming back to last year, Seth Rollins. I had fun with this one.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Greg?
Yeah, I only good things to say about this match. I thought they delivered. I thought they were pretty hard hitting. How you doing, sir?
Hey.
Ooh,
Hey.
Greg's got a special guest joining.
Hey.
But honestly, too, and I'm thinking about we had a lot of the gamer references or just the gamers on there for the second match from both nights. Because you, of course, have New Day on the second match of night one. Kale saying, what a cool entrance. I hope he's not done as big player because I think he's really cool. Absolutely.
He's not done at all.
Yeah, so.
You don't pay for Slayer if you're done.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm kind of curious what that price range was because you get some of those big time old school bands. Yeah, it's gonna.
I thought they did great. I thought they had a really good hard hitting match. They set up a whole lot of fun spots to mess with. Razor's Edge to a table, always a fun time.
Oh, absolutely. And again, huge shout outs to Scott Hall. To see the influence on Damian Priest 100%.
For sure.
Ooh, what's on here? Max saying, there's a report from Cultaholics saying WWE is considering rebranding AAA to NXT Mexico. I don't know how I feel about that.
I hate it.
It's disgusting.
That is the worst thing I could have heard.
I hate it so much.
I feel like that's worse than what we were talking about on the podcast, Greg, for WrestleMania Naito.
Oh man, that's not good at all. The WWE getting their hands in everything is a dark future for the industry.
Oh, it's scary. They're trying to do that thing again, but on a grander scale.
Yep.
All right, who else wants to play Monopoly? Allegedly. Anyways, going on there, we went from one hard-hitting match to another, and this was fun in the sense of very different and drastically varied styles. Greg's having a lot of fun. But we had a fatal four-way match for the Intercontinental title. Love having Intercontinental title matches on WrestleMania. Remember that time period where you just never saw the IC title on the main card? Well, we fixed that here because the champion Bron Breakker took on Finn Balor, Dirty Dom Mysterio, and Penta. The match ends, and Dirty Dom became the new IC champion. So, hey, shout out to Dom. I really like that attire. I was getting some shades to La Parka on there. Do I have a picture somewhere? I thought I saved one.
Which the WWE now owns, which is a very awkward thing to consider.
They need to take that in and make like a modern day chairman.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, take advantage of that, because he was one of my personal favorite characters when we used to see him in WCW all the time. So if they could do something with, where are we on, version 3 of La Parka now? I think there's a lot of fun that can be had there, but we'll see. Greg, what did you think of the match, though?
I thought they all did pretty good. I thought this was a good four-way, a lot of fun spots. Bron Breakker got to destroy a bunch of people. The right guy won.
Yeah, honestly, I would agree with that. John?
Yeah, this match was a lot of fun, and at first I wanted Braun to retain, but watching Dominik perform in that match, it turned me. I wanted him to win. So yeah, it was the right running, and it was his time anyways to finally have a singles title back since the NXT UK Championship or North American Championship.
Yeah, and poor Dom. He always struggles when he brings out a mask. He had trouble taking this one off. I think back to when he had his dad's mask and couldn't rip it. He needs to just stop with the masks entirely. But like you guys said, I think the right guy won. This was a fun match. And honestly, too, when you got Bron Breakker, Finn Balor, Penta, and Dom, I would have personally been okay if any of the four guys won that match. Some a little more than others, but all in all, it was a great match, and again, I was okay all around if any of these guys won it. I almost wonder what would have happened if Bron Breakker just completely destroyed every single person. And speaking of which, we do have to call attention to the fact that Carlito once again gets absolutely brutalized by a spear, so harsh that it went through the announce table and it basically shook the camera and ringside area.
I mean, on Easter Sunday, Carlito had risen from his grave only to be killed again by Bron Breakker.
We need to take a moment of silence, everyone, please, for Carlito. I kind of hope that this also becomes a thing that like Carlito just is so like petrified of spears for the rest of his career. Going onwards, that'd be funny. But
Carlito's really found a place on the company at this point. It's like just as an on-screen guy and not even as a wrestler anymore.
Right, which is so different when you think about his first run, because he started off definitely as someone that was very integrated, but it's like as the years went on and when we hit 2010, it was just like you barely even saw him around there, and now like he's such a integral force and still so jacked compared to his first run.
And also just, the finish did the right thing in making me very interested in just like, well, what's the next chapter, for this whole Judgment Day thing.
Yeah, so we got some things to look into. Notably, too, Finn Balor pushed down and started kicking the head in of Dirty Dom, and they were not getting along throughout the match. So, like you're saying, Greg, there's a lot more that we're going to be seeing between the members of the Judgment Day here.
The only weird part was after the match had ended and Dom had gone up the ramp, and then for whatever reason sprinted back down the ramp to get back into the ring. I was like, did y'all end early? What happened?
No, go back, fill time.
I need 30 more seconds of real, goddammit.
We're not done yet. We need a vertical. We gotta post this to Reels.
We didn't get the shot.
Stand back up there now. I also love, I've been seeing a lot of people sharing these throughout social media. I don't know if you guys saw them, how many different ways Dom, in his attire, his hair, his facial hair, and his mannerisms, honors so many legends of Lucha Libre.
Doesn't he have a bunch of masks tattooed on his fingers?
Yeah, so there's so many different things. I think that's also one of the coolest things. He is literally just meant to honor Lucha Libre. Yeah. I kind of wonder what his opinion is on the acquisition.
Right. For all of the supposed talents that could be that are nepo babies, like you can tell that Dom does have a genuine appreciation for this industry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's not just in it for the because it's legacy.
Absolutely, and even too, like, he goes above and beyond. You could tell he works hard, he trains hard. He's had so many people give him major props. I know one of my mom's favorite quotes was hearing The Undertaker calling Dom a heat-seeking missile, because that's what he is. I mean, I saw someone's comment on one of the Dershi Radio posts, shout out, and they were just literally saying somehow Dom has managed to turn heel while still being a heel 3 times.
Yes. The only thing I would change is, like, I would say get a little more gym time in there. A little scrawny Dominik.
Yeah, especially in the WWE. Yeah, a little bit more massive definition. Quite frankly, like Rey Mysterio in his time in WWE really built up the mass and definition.
To the point where it kind of affected his style.
Yeah. Speaking of massive definition, we'll get to that match later on, but I was seeing some people talking about a guy like AJ Styles getting a little blown up early on in there, and I was thinking it was because he's been emphasizing much more weight training and muscle mass. Plus, he's old and injured.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed, but like I would attribute that more to just being like older and just like the body is older. His body is older than he is. The stuff he's put it through.
Right. So, a lot there, but we're gonna get into that in a little bit, guys. Say his name. And he appears.
No, can we skip this?
Who believes in Joe Hendry, guys?
Not this guy.
Yes, Joe Hendry was the mystery opponent against Randall Keith Orton, who I believe, did they say he was up in his 20th WrestleMania match? Was that it?
It might have been. I didn't catch that, but I believe it.
Yeah, and not only that, like you were saying, John, we might have said this off the air, but Randy Orton was also wearing his original debut attire as well.
That I noticed. Yeah. When he came out and I saw the color scheme, I was just like, that's the old stuff.
That's OG right there. Yeah, that's like the early SmackDown era. Shout out to Randy Orton also being one of like the last guys to come in under the WWF.
Yeah, wow. I hadn't considered that. Scary.
Yeah, because he comes in, what was it, like April 2002, and then they do get the F out in May.
We old.
Only the old timers talk about.
We old.
John's got the knowledge though of the old timers. But guys, all in all, what do we think of this match? John, I saw a screenshot from your dad on how you were feeling about this, so I really want to hear your opinion.
It's horrible. Words can't describe how mad I was when his music hit. It's horrendous. And they buried the TNA World Champion live on WWE TV. TNA is furious. They stood aside with AEW. They're mad. Their World Champion got buried like a mark. 3 RKOs back to back to back like he deserved.
And then he stole his gimmick.
And he stole his emote.
In front of 60,000 people on their biggest show.
61,226 people.
It should have been Nick Aldis.
Right. I was really thinking it was going to be Nick Aldis. I mean, we looked at all the different possibilities. Rusev and Aleister Black, of course, were potential options. Shout out to the contingent that really wanted Goldberg for some reason. Goldberg and Randy Orton, while it would feel like a WrestleMania match, I would not want to see that as a WrestleMania match in 2025.
No, it'd be like asking for Rock Shawn now. It's like, stop it.
Rock and Chad Frost on WrestleMania.
Nah.
But yeah, not only did we have the TNA World Champion get defeated in 3 minutes and 10 seconds, but then we have Randy Orton giving him the hand raise, and then another RKO, because why not, and then proceeds to steal the emote. This is also a moment, guys. I think we need to have a moment of silence.
Say his name and he's gone.
Does TNA just always get the short end of the stick when it comes to their partnerships?
The industry has given them the short end of the stick.
Somehow they persevere. And again, this is where I'm always going to say, if TNA of all companies has managed to stick around this long, AEW is fine.
Yeah, there's something to that.
And as we can imagine, this was the shortest match for all of WrestleMania for both nights. And yeah, this was 3 minutes, 10 seconds, according to the Wikipedia, with the second longest match of both nights being El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix, which was phenomenal. Well, I think we're all ready to talk about another phenomenal match, quote unquote. Quote unquote. We had Logan freaking Paul defeating AJ Styles on WrestleMania.
I've never seen an entrance use all the B-roll at the same time.
Dude, they used every single camera. I'm gonna give the Low Gang a little bit of credit here. I thought it was pretty cool how he kept using the drone camera as like almost like a bird that would kept leaving and like coming back to him. I thought that was really neat.
That was cool, yeah.
Like I'll give Logan Paul his props and his credit. He knows how to do things within the realm of production that is realistic, and every single person on there can really, think is cool that we haven't seen before. So I appreciated that. But guys, this match went according to Wikipedia, 17 minutes and 50 seconds. What'd you guys think?
I thought it was alright. Listen, I shudder to compliment Logan Paul, but the dude is bizarrely good at what he knows how to do, I guess. Like, he doesn't do anything that he doesn't do well, which he should be commended for. I'm just surprised at how well he does them.
Acclimated to the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Completely and 100%. John?
Yeah, like Greg was saying, as much as we all don't like Logan Paul, what he does it. He's a good wrestler. It's just sad that it was a rough match. It was the roughest match of the night, arguably. With AJ Styles of all people.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a shame because I really, we talk about John Cena on his final year, and AJ Styles, another one of those guys that has talked about, he wants to start wrapping it up too. He's had a very long career. One of the few guys on the roster that can say he's wrestled in WCW, so that tells you how long he's been at it. Mm-hmm. And it started off pretty decent, I have to say. As the match went on, it just dragged, and this was actually the second longest match of the night. I don't know. It went on a little too long. And was I the only one that was suspecting there was a Chekhov's gun that was going to happen here? Because one of the spots at the end, Mr. Jeffrey tries to sneak in some brass knucks for Logan, but Karrion Kross stops that and wanted to give them to AJ Styles, who refused to succumb to sinfulness during Easter. But honestly,
in that perspective, but that works.
Here's what I was thinking, though, is the fact that when AJ threw the brass knuckles, I thought that was like Chekhov's knucks there, because I was convinced that one of the next couple matches, be it from the women's tag match or most likely the Cena Rhodes match, I thought Cena would then grab the brass knuckles later on. Especially during one of the parts where the ref was knocked down.
I hadn't considered that he might find them. I guess that's interesting. I assumed they were gone.
I've just always wanted something like a Chekhov's thing and a Chekhov's gun in one of these matches, because I've always liked the idea that, we have something here that we don't see it used, and our wrestling minds think, all right, well, that's done. That's just for that segment. And then it picks back up later on, and it's like, oh, okay.
So, like, I've always had a thing I wanted to try where it was, like the tables that were outside the ring for, Drew and... excuse me, for Drew and Damian, where it's like you set those tables up on table up on the outside, but that match doesn't break it, and then you spend the rest of the night wondering who's going to go through that freaking table.
Yeah, no one takes it down or moves it out of the way or anything.
Nope. Which is why it only works on shitty indies.
I think there's a way that we could still get it going. I've always liked the idea of, like what you were saying, Greg, where we just left the table up, and then, like, in the next moment, oh no, it's those gosh darn Dudleys.
No, you just spend the whole night teasing the table spot in every match until somebody eventually goes through it.
Everyone threatens, like, you got someone in a power bomb, like, oh, is this it? No, they turn around. Or they just bounce them off the ropes.
Basically.
But yeah, I did not care for this match, like you guys were saying. I think we could have had so much better, and I feel like my love for this just kind of started diminishing as it went on. I really appreciated, again, the use of the drone camera from the entrance to also the way he was using it during the match. Again, I like the way he was kind of using it like the Falconer calling for the Falconer right there. And yeah. I thought what would have been a cool thing, logistically this might have been horrible, but I would have loved if the drone went over, Logan jumps over it, and we transition to the wide shot. I thought that would have been interesting.
Yeah, that whole shot where he does the fog splash while they're on the drone camera was very cool.
Yeah, but again, I gotta give shout outs to Logan for knowing how to masterfully do camera things that we've never seen before.
Yep.
Or his team.
I was expecting Kai Cenat in the prime bottle.
Honestly, I would have not been surprised at all.
Give it a month, one of those are gonna end up in that 2K game.
Oh man, I can picture it now. Surprised we didn't have any more giant Prime advertisements somewhere on the mat. I saw like a million different things on there, like Slim Jims, one of those mobile games, whatever else. They did
have the hydration station, didn't they?
The hydration station was there, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Prime might have had like one of the turnbuckle ads, which is weird to see. I am not used to that at all.
It was weird to see how many of them were different. I'm used to at least a level of uniformity, but like one side had the general and the other side had like Prime.
What do you think the cost differential is for getting a turnbuckle pad versus a spot on the canvas?
I guess I imagine the spot on the canvas is much bigger.
Especially if you got the one that was front and center, like right in the middle.
Yeah, the Fatal Fury one, big time.
That's the logo that CM Punk kissed last night. Fatal Fury.
He's really into that game. He loves it. Oh.
CM Punk, fighting game connoisseur.
Well, fellas, it is time for our final match to discuss. And for those of you who might have just been joining us, we talked about the main event match, Cody and Cena, at the very start of the show. So when we're done here, feel free to check this back out again and rewind to catch everything that we said. We talked a lot about it in depth, of course. And now, the women's tag team titles. Lyra, Valkyrie, and a mystery partner defeated Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to become the new women's tag team champions. Who was this mystery woman? Well, Bayley, as we saw yesterday during WrestleMania, was taken out, and someone had to replace her. Poor Bayley. Who could it be that replaces her? It's the man! It's Becky Lynch. Big time Bex making her return, joining her fellow Irish woman to become a new women's tag champion. Guys, what do we think about this match overall? 8 minutes, 40 seconds.
Yeah, it was decent.
Becky was not bumping at all.
She was
No
not, was
bumps.
she?
No bumps
You
at
know
all.
what? That's a good point. I did not think about that.
I didn't consider it either until he said it, and I was like, I can't remember one.
Yeah. Oh, good catch there, John. Yeah, I think you're right. I can't recall anything really.
That's that Starstroke.
I want to give a shout out to Matt from the TNA side of things, completely making me laugh with Lyra's entrance. The Always Sunny reference of the Birds of War coming out.
Oh Jesus.
That was great. Shout out to Matt. And go and check out the TNA show. They might have buried them on WrestleMania, but guess what? Here on the Dirt Sheet Radio podcast, we will not bury our TNA recap show.
That's funny.
But did you guys get a sense of Liv and Raquel when they came out in red? I almost thought that the way that they were dressed was like a Bella's reference, and that one of the Bellas would become the mystery partner.
Interesting. I didn't even consider that.
Because it was like the bright red kind of leather, you know? It looked,
I get what I get what you mean. How you say it, but didn't even consider it.
I was worried for a second, but
Go ahead, John.
I'm glad.
No, I was gonna say I was not thinking about that until you said it. The Bella Twins did wear a lot of red, didn't they?
Yeah. All in all, I don't really have a lot to say about this match. It was interesting seeing Becky back, but I felt like Joe Hendry was at least more of a shock than Becky Lynch coming back. I think everyone saw this one coming a mile away.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's WrestleMania. She's the only big star that hasn't been around. It's Becky Lynch.
I just think it was a little crazy. They extracted Bayley from WrestleMania for a Becky Lynch return.
Yeah. Although they did at least tie it. They did attempt to tie it in by saying like Liv Morgan had been going around saying she retired Becky.
Oh yeah.
See, again, this is just one of those things that now, as we look back and we think about how many hours WrestleMania is and how big the stadiums are that they're in, why don't we just bring it back to having a battle royal open up each night on the pre-show or something? That way everyone can just do something, you know? And the women haven't even had a battle royal in how many years now?
No, they haven't. They didn't get another one of those women's things either, did they?
Well, it's been a while. And...
No big golden uterus.
But yeah, I don't really know what to say about this match. It wasn't bad, wasn't great. This is where I felt like, you know, the women's match at the start of the show, again, I think stole the entire night by far. None of these matches delivered up to that level, and I feel like match quality started going down as we got to the second half of the night.
It was funny for me in the sense that, like, I had started thinking to myself, man, we haven't had... It feels like we haven't had the, like, the semi-main event cool-down match in so long, and then this match happened.
Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Which feels kind of weird for Liv Morgan, because even though she's featured and she's still part of the Judgment Day storyline, for the year that she's had, it felt like such a small spot for her.
It's still so interesting to me that she loses her title when Dom gained his.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of expecting like they did like the power couple vibe of sorts where they each got something.
Yeah.
But unless any of us have any other things to throw out there for the women's tag match. Anyone?
Don't think so.
John?
No.
Yeah.
All right. I understand completely. Well, on that note, that has been the WrestleMania Night 2 match card. So I want to, again, thank you guys for joining us on there. Now, I would love to go through and say match of the night. Did we have anything beyond the women's triple threat match? Because I'm going to go first and say that was mine, 100%. That was the best way you could open the show. I almost feel like that should have been the main event. I know it wasn't as hyped up as John Cena and Cody Rhodes, but you know what? It was a quality match, and that would have absolutely sent the crowd home happy.
I think we all agree.
Yeah.
John, you agree?
Yeah. They did.
Ooh, across the board. Now, I'll get a little bit trickier on this for you guys. I want to look at... Now, granted, it's WrestleMania. You're on the WrestleMania card. You're never going to truly be considered a jobber, but who's our jobber of the night?
That poor lady Stone Cold hit in the front row. That is my jobber of the night.
Rest in peace.
But she's a megastar in her own way because she's definitely suing.
This is going to further reinforce. It's going to further reinforce Stone Cold not wanting to come back around anymore.
Nick Khan got over there so fast.
He got up out of his seat and just sprinted. Well, I'll make this right for you. Don't worry. Please don't sue. Please don't sue. Greg, jobber?
God. Jobber of the night's gotta be Bailey.
Rest in peace, Bailey.
Yeah.
Didn't even see.
BBL Bailey.
Guys, I'm going to have to say my jobber of the night. You say his name and he appears. Joe Hendry is my jobber of the night. And not just Joe Hendry. What's that logo? A little bit under his shirt. Oh, that's the TNA logo, is it not? Oh, that's the TNA World Championship title? Oh, I guess TNA will also be added on to my jobber of the night. Rest in peace, TNA brand. This is what they think.
Maybe this is what you get for firing Scott D'Amore.
That's just karma at that point. I agree with that. Okay, but hey, enough about TNA's karma. We talked about who our jobbers of the night are. Who's our megastar of the night? Let's go in that same order. John?
I have 3 of them.
All right, rapid fire. Go.
Bianca, Belair, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. Those
Perfect.
women, they opened the show. They set the tone. This really felt like a big WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Compared to last night's opener, this was chef's kiss.
Dude,
they
absolutely.
did that thing out there.
Dude,
for the night.
Dude, when they went out there and had that match, I 100% felt like all of the stuff from yesterday's WrestleMania, like you said off the air, it made it feel like 0 hour for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like this was the WrestleMania match that made it feel like a WrestleMania show.
Yeah.
Good choice, Greg.
Megastar of the night for me. Oh, you know, I wanted to give it to Io Sky just for, you know, like, yeah, I want to give it to Io Sky just for telling the story of losing your. We talked about this on our regular podcast about WrestleManias being connected. Losing your championship last year, and then sort of finding your way back to the championship and getting the defense in that time, and, you know, telling the story of Io Sky trying to get taken seriously again.
Right. No, you know what, man? That is a solid choice. I love all of the love going towards this women's match because, again, I feel like it's the tale of 2 nights, right? Because the women's title match from last night just could not at all hold a candle to this show opener that we had here.
Not at all.
Right. For me,
I don't want none of that Io Sky mess.
Absolutely. You know, I'm going to, again, go a similar route to you, Greg. I'm not going to say Io Sky was mine, though she did phenomenal. All the women did. Again, I'm going to give a huge shout out to them. I'm going to be going with Drew McIntyre. I love the way that we were able to connect this to last year's WrestleMania. Greg, 100%, like you were saying, I love the way that we can connect different WrestleManias. I feel like that's just going to be a huge standard moving forward as well. So kudos to that, because I feel like that was very consistent with those early WrestleManias as well. But Drew McIntyre just killed it. He was fun this whole match. He had a fantastic entrance. All in all, it was cool seeing Doomslayer Drew, and I can't wait to see what else is to come for the Sinister Scotsman.
Nice.
But we had a comment pop up here at the last minute from Andre. Who do you guys think will show up on Raw tomorrow night?
Not Dwayne Johnson.
You're an executive, sir. Show up on your show.
I'll just throw it out there and say maybe the return of Rusev.
Rusev Day. I think we could guarantee that it won't be on Raw, but Aleister Black will probably be on SmackDown from all those different vignettes that have been airing. Rusev, I could absolutely see a lot of stuff promoting for him on Raw. I can even see them featuring, one way or another, if he's around still, probably Vikingo.
Probably, right? I guess you gotta play off what we did
Yeah.
with Monday, not Monday, Saturday night, right?
Yeah, so you know what? Like, strike while the iron's hot. Everyone's been talking about him. If he's still around and in town, we know he's got his gear with him. We saw it on the pre-show yesterday. Give Vikingo an opportunity. Give
My
him a spot in the
nipples,
match.
it's cold out here.
And then he gets into his suit later on. That's my OCD. That will just bother me there. Well, guys, it's been 2 fun, amazing, incredible, great, glorious, history making, everything else you could possibly say nights of WrestleMania. It is another Mania in the books. All in all, if we had to come up with a rating out of 10, do you guys have any idea what yours would be? Greg?
All 2 nights together?
Yes.
Oof. God, that's really tough. Cause like one night really just kind of wets the bed, and the other night really cleans it the heck up. Then
All right, how's about we do it this way? We could do a night 1, a night 2, and then a whole double dose.
So night 1 I'm gonna give a 4 out of 10. Night 2 I'm gonna give a solid I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Pretty much everything was good, except the main event. And all in all, both nights probably 6. I think a lot of night 2 makes up for night 1, but not enough to get it that high.
That is so fair. Andre gives it a 8 out of 10. John, what do you give night 1, night 2, and the full double night?
Night 1, I give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. Night 2, 7.5. And overall, I'll give it a 6.5. Because like Greg said, this definitely made up for last night. WrestleMania 0 hour.
Exactly.
Yeah, every match on this card was all right. I had a lot of fun with night 2.
Absolutely. Again, I'm going to be very much in line with what you guys were saying. Night 1, oh, that's such a 3. Like, the main event definitely saved it, and there was bits and pieces throughout. Phoenix and Americano was not bad at all. They should have got much more time, but a lot of night 1 really dragged on, and I just didn't have fun with it. So that's going to be a 3. Night 2, though, that was great. Nothing really felt like it dragged on too much until we started getting into the Logan Paul AJ Styles match. But aside from that, everything else was solid in its own way, and everything had something that, at the very worst, could be redeemable. So I'm going to give night 2 a 7.5. It definitely felt much more like a WrestleMania night than Saturday did. And all in all, when it comes to both shows, I'm going to be giving it a solid 6 out of 10.
Does anyone have a favorite WrestleMania presentation? So like entrances, gear, any of that unique stuff that they showed up for?
Roman Reigns.
Oh, the Arctic Avenger Roman Reigns.
Finally, new cargo pants, and you seen the LED trons on the top of the ramp with the bloodline was really cool.
So that's what I noticed. I didn't even notice the pants, but like I loved that shot of him walking past like the family, all the family that came before him. That was just badass.
Yeah, that definitely brought back the WrestleMania feeling for me last night. It was Roman Reigns' entrance.
Yeah,
absolutely. There's 2 that really come to mind. The first one, without a doubt, Greg, we kind of talked about this last night. I gotta say, CM Punk's promo package before he fully came out, when we had this fire burns, that was great. I love the way they tied it in with his first ever, his debut promo, how his addiction is wrestling.
Kind of like his debut tights, right? Or like close to his debut tights.
The pipe bomb tights.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what they were?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was all very fucking cool. Also, Living Color still sounds great.
Exactly. Like, they stood the test of time, and I think it's really cool. I think that also goes for a lot of the older wrestling fans, because you got to see Living Color and Slayer at WrestleMania.
Right.
So shout out to that. And the other...
having seen them perform at 29, they still sound good, and it was over 10 years ago.
They still sounded the same.
Yeah,
That's wild. And they still look great, too.
yeah.
And I also want to give a huge shout out what Logan Paul did with the drone camera and literally every single other camera that they were using. I thought that was really cool. That was really masterfully done. I hope that there's other ways that they can go about manifesting that. And I love any involvement with drone cam. So I thought that was really original and unique.
I know it's not exactly the same, but it felt interesting in a post-McMahon WWE to see like Rollins sort of return to the white gear that was banned.
Yes, that's right. Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Vince was like, never again.
No more.
So like the white and gold gear came back for WrestleMania.
AJ Styles with his white and blue gear for Easter.
Yeah, God, AJ, you're such a goddamn Christian. I was joking about it because I was like, oh, AJ didn't get the memo about the gold because that was a repeating thing that turned out for the entire weekend. A lot of people had some sort of gold attire.
Yeah, Lyra Valkyria did.
Yes.
She was basically Megan Bain Jr.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people did. So I thought, like, it was funny to see AJ Styles and a few other guys just go completely the other direction. Because Bianca did too, and so did Jade. Golded out to heck.
Right.
Yeah. No. Fantastic stuff for Seth Rollins. Fantastic stuff for CM Punk doing the old promos to the old music.
Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah. Shout out to OVW getting acknowledged.
Yeah, the full ring and everything. That was wild. That was cool. They really did go with the deep cuts. At that point, I would have been like, oh, can you imagine if they referenced Ring of Honor and AEW?
Even with the clips, I felt like I was watching the Punk DVD again.
Yeah.
It's the most indie-tastic documentary they've ever done.
At this point, all we were really missing was just probably like Rancid.
No, Ace Steel.
Yeah, and Ace Steel. Get some Mazzaria Cantera in there.
Get a leash for Ace Steel.
Oh, a leash, Jesus Christ.
Ace Steel versus Al Green's gimmick in late 2000? Or was it 99? The Dog?
No. Don't do it.
Remember when they did Al Green versus Ernest Miller? I didn't think I was going to be talking about that on the WrestleMania.
I don't think I was watching WCW at that time.
It was a good time to stop watching, but they did do on an episode of Thunder, the cat versus the dog.
That is terrible.
There's a reason WCW doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, there is a lot of reasons. So many reasons. I'm trying to think of something else I thought was really cool. I obviously I love Damian Priest's entrance. The fire and all that stuff was very cool.
Dude, you know what was really cool? It's right behind us here, the stage. I thought this was one of the coolest WrestleMania stages we've done in a while.
100%. It reminded me of 39, how it's just that large construction. And that was another thing I loved about Seth Rollins. They actually burnt down the hotel.
No, all the people that are sitting there, no! Our joke from yesterday that they should have made an actual functioning hotel.
Yeah. What were you saying, John?
No, one thing about the stage was it's two different colors. Last night was gold. This night it was purple because of two different producers for each night.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that was real cool. It's a great spot there.
It's very interesting.
Lots of opportunities for reference. Another cool thing, Doomslayer Drew, I thought was just awesome. He sold 100%, and if there's ever a new Doom movie, I would love to see him in there instead of The Rock.
I thought the Tiffany Stratton Barbie boxes were pretty cool too.
Yeah. No, those were awesome, and I like too because it turned the hotel into almost like a Barbie's dream house.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I just shout out to I don't know if you guys mentioned it yesterday. I don't remember.
Probably.
Shout out to the Giant Gonzalez outfit.
Yeah, I saw that. I shared that on my profile. Go follow Nick Larocco. We're almost at 52,000 followers. Yeah, it was
What a
real.
deep cut, you guys.
And it's perfectly in line with the WrestleMania 9 documentary.
And it being in Vegas again.
It's in Vegas. Yep. That was really cool. I really was happy with that. I was almost worried that it was too much of a deep cut and it was like a video game reference
Yeah.
that I completely missed. But thankfully, it seems everyone else agreed with it. So, but yeah, Giant Gonzalez getting a reference in 2025. Where else but Mania? WrestleMania.
Seriously. The Jade Cargill one was cute, but like, you know, like her entrance is kind of already cool to begin with. She didn't need like the weatherman.
That is true. I liked, if this was truly what he was going for, I liked the reference to La Parka for Dirty Dom.
I get that.
Because on his boots too. It was the skeletal feet.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay.
That's what that was the thing I first noticed. I was like, that reminds me of La Parka's boots. And then they showed what he was wearing. I'm like, oh.
I was too busy trying to figure out what the mask was.
Yeah, that one I was having some difficulty on. Chad, if you know, let us know in the comments.
Also, not much of a presentation, although like the paper kind of harkens back to the old Austin things where they had the shattered glass for Naomi. But like, yeah. Naomi with this metal theme, what is this?
Garbage. I hate it. She has such good theme songs. It just taints her record of theme songs. Yeah. It's hideous.
I have to agree with that.
That's interesting.
You know what?
It feels like when I found out Jada Pinkett Smith had a metal band.
I don't even know what to say there. Oh, but speaking of metal, like I really also liked the promo package they did for the men's triple threat for night one. Like when they were going through it, I don't know what the song itself was, but some kind of alt rock metal hybrid. It was really good.
Machine Head,
yeah.
Yes.
That was really awesome.
I remember I was being a dick in the chat and typing Machine Head greater than Radiohead.
Hey, listen, like Machine Head, like hearing that on a promo, it just reminds me how much of a perfect fit rock music is with pro wrestling.
So glad Hunter's on the music now.
Yeah. Oh, but that was good. Any other ones, you guys?
I don't know. Charlotte didn't do anything of particular note. She just came in the car.
A knee brace.
Yeah, sparkly knee brace. Yeah.
Sparkly knee brace. And Charlotte and Tiffany were. Is it offensive if I say that they looked way too similar?
No, because everyone said it.
Yeah. It felt like we were in like a match of the clones, basically.
Weren't they wearing the same dress on their promo on SmackDown?
That was the thing. That was like, it seemed like they were doing it on purpose. Because they've been dressing nearly the same for several like segments.
I am you, but from the future.
Yeah. The Jey Uso flag stuff was cool.
I like Jey Uso's overall aura during his entrance, but at the same time, I don't know if they realize.
Sandman-esque. Once the bell rings, you're just like, and the match has to happen.
Yeah, like give Jay a kendo stick or something. Give him a kendo stick and a beer. I want to see
his brother back. Give him back Jimmy.
Oh, but that was the thing I was going to say with
Big Jim.
With main event Jay is the fact that I kind of lost my will to live when it came down to him having to navigate through that entire stadium. I feel like
that was tough, wasn't it?
Because I feel like if you're doing a rehearsal, you don't have to deal with so many people there. You could just go down the steps, go through it, boom. But then when it's in the moment, you've got all the fans there, big, like basically a human crush worth of people you have to navigate through.
Yeah. Ooh. And then so like keep track of whoever your roving security is.
Yeah, that was the thing too, because I feel like security too has got to always be like right there and present, because you never know what's going to happen.
Tough gig. No special entrance, but like, if anyone should have just played it straight, it was Gunther. And even then, the white doors opening to the reveal of him sitting there still works.
It does. Shout out to them. This is again one of those things that when you have such a big stadium, I think about just, if we did have those battle royals again at the start of the show, what a great visual it would have been to see so many people walking down that long ramp, taking full advantage of the stage like they did in previous years. Ooh, Andre says, hey guys, I forgot to ask you, what's the name of the new show that WWE was talking about on Netflix?
It was some documentary thing, wasn't it? Unreal?
It was a production documentary, I think it was.
Yes.
I went online to try and look for it, and I immediately saw a thing of Nick Khan checking on the woman alongside Stone Cold. Allegedly, this might have been the person. I saw someone online. Don't know if... Okay, no, never mind. It was someone else posting it. I thought I saw something from the woman that got struck, but it wasn't her.
Michael Cole announced that WWE Unreal will premiere this summer on Netflix. Cole said that the series will take fans into the writer's room.
Oh, here's some major news during the post-show. Triple H said when the time is right, China will get a sole induction into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Now, who knows when that time will be, but the fact that was addressed and talked about.
That'll make a lot of people very happy.
Yeah, I think that's honestly going to be one of the biggest forms of goodwill that they can do.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest critiques of them.
And also because it's saying something to point it out, because as you can tell now, they have their own branch for stuff where they don't want to do a lot of depressing posthumous inductions, where they have somebody's like family or whatever induct them because they're no longer around. So like to say that we're going to take time to actually do the China one when she can't be there means like it's got a level of importance for them.
Right.
So a lot of people will be very happy with that.
Absolutely. According to Triple H also, during the post-show, just a couple of notes here. He says, don't worry about Bayley. She'll be just fine. She's a true pro. I wonder how she feels about that. Triple H says having Joe Hendry be Randy Orton's mystery opponent was the perfect opportunity. Right thing, right moment, right time.
If you say so.
Sure. I mean, it got a reaction. I got a lot of people talking about it. I shared it, and it immediately hit like about 100 shares. So it was something in its own way that was big, especially on social media, which is perfect for Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know. Of course, Triple H, the promoter, will be saying that the Raw after Mania tomorrow is going to be big and a lot on it. So it's going to be very exciting.
It's almost like I have a vested interest in this working.
It's almost like I wouldn't say anything different. But that's a good point. Any other aspects from either WrestleMania, night after WrestleMania, WrestleMania week you guys want to discuss and throw out there real quick before we go home? John, Greg, anything?
I'm curious what the next chapter is for their Judgment Day angle. Especially since I feel like a Dom face turn has to be around the corner at some point, because you can only keep this up for so long, and you can't.
He was really over with this crowd tonight too.
Yeah,
he was, and like you can't do the program with Dom and Finn both being the heels, obviously.
Unless you want to go the Shawn Michaels and Martel route, but that was just based on being ridiculous.
And we saw how that worked.
Exactly. Blindfold match coming. Let's go.
Oh, God help us all. So, like, I'm curious what a Dominik face turn looks like, and also how that affects Liv Morgan.
Yeah. But honestly, when you think about it, the crowd would absolutely be ready in a heartbeat to cheer for Liv and Dom.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna cheer for Liv for their own reasons, but you know, Dominik Mysterio's also just kind of over.
I think in a way too, they're gonna cheer for Dom in their own reasons.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if Tiffany Stratton can recover from this weekend. She probably can with a better dance partner, but
That's the biggest thing.
I want to see what they do going forward with her.
This was without a doubt too, Greg. We mentioned this on the podcast, and John, I think you might have remembered me talking about it last night too. Is I think the biggest thing with Tiffy time is she's got all of the right essentials down. She's got the right tools for the job, but it just needs to come together, and it will soon. It's just not right now. But
Yeah, Tiffany has the tools for success. I think they just need to capitalize on it before it's too late.
absolutely.
Yeah, and you know the truth is, dude, she just might be. In the end, she is still quite green. Okay.
Oh, someone disagreed with that.
Ha! Yeah, no, the truth is Tiffany is still quite green. Like, she just got here in a lot of ways, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe she just needs the seasoning. And once again, a better dance partner, because Charlotte was not
It was not
great
it.
for her.
Which
Obviously,
isn't-
I do want to
it's-
see what's... Oh, yeah, obviously I do want to see what's next with CM Punk, because, like, you know...
Where do we go from
you
there?
accomplish the goals, so, like, where do we go from here? Obviously Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman is a no-brainer of a discussion about what's next.
It's that kind of thing when it came to the original Shield breakup, where you got a 3-guy team, one guy breaks off, has betrayed both of them. We don't really visit too much when it comes down to the third guy's involvement in there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a similar thing here, where it's going to be a feud that feels much more for Rollins and Reigns than it does for Punk being involved too much.
And also, I enjoyed that other than the Drew McIntyre program, CM Punk has been attached to the hip to the Shield for the better part of several years.
Yeah, which it makes sense. He's got that connection to it.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Chris Hero.
Jeez. Oh man. And
I do
lastly,
wonder-
I want to say all
Yeah.
eyes on Jacob Fatu.
Absolutely. I'm happy for him to be a champ. I said this with you yesterday, John. I would love to see Jacob Fatu just doing the open challenge for the U.S. title, and he's just obliterating people left, right, front, center. No one stands a chance.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
Obviously, there's a solo altercation in that future.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for that open challenge idea because they did just buy AAA, so there's a lot of new talent he could face with that U.S. title.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's another huge consideration, is what the involvement's going to be there. We know for a fact they're going to be head over heels when it comes to featuring Vikingo.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see who else they might want to feature. Some wrestling talents in the locker room might be happier than others about this move, but you know what? It's going to lead to somewhere. But on that note, guys, any final thoughts for WrestleMania?
Beautiful set. Can't wait for it to be in the video game.
Absolutely. John?
Yeah, I'm unfortunately tuned in for Jey Uso. I want to see what they do with him after the title win.
Yeah, that would be interesting. He needs strong dance partners.
Yeah, that is so fair. And I think, one of the big things for me, I would love to continue to, like you said, see a lot of the people that they're developing and building up, have those right dance partners come to the forefront, be able to see what we have in store. And for some of the other wrestlers that, potentially might have stuff that ran their course, like a Charlotte Flair, like a Randy Orton, I want to see some more stuff that they might have in store, because it feels like we're just kind of treading water with them.
I guess you could call it a big move, even though technically Punk's like a Raw guy. I want to see Gunther, Punk and Rollins. I want to see Gunther just like swim in some deeper waters. So
Yeah.
like we need to. I think the problem with Raw, if you'd call it a problem, is that as over as Jey Uso is, for the most part, the World Heavyweight Championship has not been the biggest program on the show for a
Right.
very long time because the better players are on their own programs. You know,
Right.
for all of 2024, the two biggest prizes in the company were the Ulafala and a bracelet.
Yeah, and just becomes second fiddle when this is supposed to be a primary title. And again, it's so weird to see opening the first night of the bad night of WrestleMania, a world heavyweight title held by the monster who dominated and decimated when he was the Intercontinental Champion up against the winner of the Royal Rumble. And it's just such, not even second fiddle, it's like fifth fiddle.
And then they both feel like they're playing at the kiddie table.
Yeah.
So like I want to get Gunther involved. And again, it's difficult because he's the big heel, and you know you got to fit him in with these guys who are going through whatever shifts they're going through. But like I want to see Gunther involved with Roman Reigns.
Right.
You know, let's go there. Let's put
Do
him in
it.
that spot. You know,
He's earned it. He's deserved it. You can trust him in that role and that spot. Thankful that they dropped the thing with Goldberg.
oh right, jeez, that did just go away, didn't it?
I'm glad. We don't need that.
Yeah, if Roman Reigns is gonna have this sort of face turn, like let's distract him a little bit with this Gunther problem, you know?
Right. Right.
Or at least because they're on the same show, let's do Gunther and Punk and put him in a big program with somebody like. But we need a more high profile guy for Jey Uso.
Yeah, and then we start running into the aspect of, you know, you look at people that either wrestled and lost, or you look at people that were in the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Some parts of the roster are being spread thin. So I think, you know, with the AAA acquisition and whatever NXT call-ups and whatever returns we've got coming up, we might have those good dance partners coming in and those people that might be perfect for the job ahead.
Yeah, and also, again, to sort of reiterate, I think, we're in a position now with the belt on Cena where Cena's not going to be there most of the time. So we need strong TV content for guys like Gunther and Punk and Roman. Well, Roman's not going to be there all the time anyway.
Right.
So now, like, we have to carry these shows on the backs of CM Punk and Gunther.
Yeah,
and
because
Cody Rhodes, who needs a strong dance partner.
Our part-timers are kind of coming off now because of the fact that WrestleMania season has officially ended. It's over. I think the other scary thought is what usually follows up with WrestleMania season. They do go into their spring cleaning run, so it'll be very curious what happens between that plus draft season, where people are going to go. So we're going to be in a unique time.
Actually, spring cleaning is arguably a little scarier now because they just offloaded a bunch of money into the AAA purchase and a bunch of contracts they just inherited.
Yeah.
They may have to really thin the herd there, financially speaking.
Yeah, so, and when I'm looking at the roster that was involved in the 26-man Battle Royal earlier, I was just like, oh no.
Scary thought.
Yeah, but, you know, we'll see what happens there. Draft-wise, I would love to see, you know, later on, I feel like Jey Uso would kill it bringing the World Heavyweight title to SmackDown. That's just kind of thought.
Yeah, and it also seems like one of those things where, like, you feel like the top champion should be on Netflix.
Yeah, that too. I feel like this is the situation. It's weird to think John Cena is going to be the Brock Lesnar style of champion who's not going to be present too much.
Yeah, really.
Okay, well, guys, this was fun. I'm glad we were able to sit down, talk all about. It was WrestleMania, and it was definitely, like we said, Greg and John, this was the better night of WrestleMania. Chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us, too. It's been a great, over an hour and a half of just talking about night 2 and everything that led up to it, everything that'll be following it. And again, I want to say, if you enjoyed hanging out with us, chat, boom, we're going to get some of the good music playing because, chat, guess what? We will always be on, always around. It's Dirt Sheet Radio after all. Monday night, of course, we're going to be covering Monday Night Raw for the post-WrestleMania Raw. Always a great show. John, you said you were going to be on that one, right?
I'll see if I be on there.
All right, let's do it, man. On top of that, Tuesday for NXT. Wednesday, we got the Dirt Sheet Radio flagship show. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff on there. Greg, are you ready? We got WrestleMania and then some.
Yeah, it's good. We got a lot of work to carry.
A lot to do and a lot to talk about. Can't wait, man. Then, of course, we saw them get buried. Let's see how TNA saves themselves on Thursday. And then Friday, we'll try to bring back the good old SmackDown recap show. 3 hours is a lot. Maybe this time around, because it's post-Mania, we'll get back at it. Of course, on the occasional Friday, we are going to be having myself, Mac, and Robbie, the WCW Tag Team Champions, of course, talking WCW. Coming up soon, I'm not sure if we have an exact date down yet, we will be discussing Starrcade 1985. So go and check that out. Check out some of our past episodes. We talked about Starrcade 97. We talked about Halloween Havoc 98. And we're going to have a lot of fun on this upcoming one, too. But we also have fun when it comes down to CJ and Tyler's Wrestling Weekend Roundup. And on top of that, we got the boys, 3NT, talking anything and everything pro wrestling related on Sunday. We also have a lot of shows non-wrestling related, such as the Otaku Cafe. But chat, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Nick Larocco. You can find me on Facebook as Nick Larocco. Please give me a follow. Help me get to 52,000 tonight. That would be so cool. John, where are they going to find you on social media, my man?
You find me on Instagram, JohnnyBoy_08, of course, but I'll see if I get more active on Twitter. As I get more active with Dirt Sheet Radio, you can find me on John's Ring under that handle on Twitter. I'll start posting more as I start being more active with y'all on Dirt Sheet Radio, the post shows, flag show maybe. This week, I heard you need a John this week. He's still in.
Absolutely.
I'll see if I get on there on Wednesday.
Hey, let's do it. We'll have a John Escudero with us. Let's go. Oh, one day. Imagine if we had two. Who's the real John? Wait to see. Greg, where are they going to find you on the socials?
They won't. I don't really use it anymore.
Stay away. Stay away from Greg. You can find him, though, on Dirt Sheet Radio.
Yes, you can.
Exactly. Well, hey, for John, for Greg, for me, for the whole Dirt Sheet Radio team, this has been a great time. WrestleMania season is truly our season. Chat, thank you so much for joining us, and we will be seeing you next time.